Circus peanuts are somewhat unique for marshmallows, and their particular texture, harder than regular marshmallows and somewhat gritty, requires particular care. Steve Kerr, a vice president at Spangler, says they are the company's most difficult to make candy because you've got all these variables coming together.
Hello, Maurice here. Now, for the smooth brains with short attention spans, you can just skip ahead till you see this timer right here get to 00. That's when the tutorial will start. Okay? Cool. Alright. Now, yeah, skip ahead. Okay, now so for the ones that stayed, I commend you for being strong-willed, and your attention span will graciously reward you afterwards. So I wanted to take this time to talk about the two biggest critiques I received on my last video. First off, people thought my voice was annoying. And thankfully, I didn't take it to heart, because it's not my actual voice. Yet, it's still... But, what if I was born with a lisp? Oh, R.I.P. Or if I had a cleft palate? Critiquing someone's physical attributes is a clear indicator of shitty character. And if you let someone's voice or looks stop you from learning something new, then you will always be the problem in your own life. Second critique was that the video was too long. Now, if you can watch Avengers The Endgame, Avatar The Blue Folk, or Titanic for 2 or more hours without gaining any knowledge, then why can't you watch an hour-long tutorial that will teach you a new skill set? All you have to do is follow along for a mere 30 minutes to an hour to learn the exact same skill set that I have spent years and hundreds of dollars to perfect. For free now, right? So for free. And not to mention, continuously searching for the easy way is detrimental to your well-being. And usually that leads to failure. But, without failing, you can't learn from your mistakes, right? And so, have you guys ever heard of the saying, good things take time? It applies here. And so, the things that come quick and easy also leave quick and easy. So, regardless of what you're doing, if you want it to done right, you have to take your time. And generally, the long way is the hard way. But you're choosing to do it this way because you know it will bring the most satisfaction and more than likely the best results. So why rush when learning anything? Okay? Take your time, hone your skill, be the best you can be at what you do, and always get back on the horse when you fall off. Okay? And so that's exactly how we got here today, folks. Okay? I rushed this process, I didn't take my time, and I fucked up a batch of gummies. But then I took that time to learn from my mistake, right? And use that to my advantage, okay? So now this tutorial is centered around recreating the texture from the circus peanuts that you saw at the beginning of the video, okay? It took 3 batches of gummies, okay? 3 different mistakes, 4 days of reflection, and 5 days of just straight pure laziness to recreate this incredible recipe. And so today, you guys will bear witness to the culmination of those 9 days in an intentional tutorial. I will elaborate in detail as we progress. And, well, I guess that's about really all I had to say. Also, I did have some really good constructive feedback, and that's one of the reasons I'm kind of shorten this recipe up, because I too found an hour long to be kind of long for my first video, but there was a lot of information in there that I need to get up, so it is what it is. But I appreciate everybody that watched that. That was, like I said, thank you. And I love all the feedback I got from that as well. Like I said, all criticism is good, unless you're just talking shit. Then like, what are you doing? Like those people that talk shit about the voice, and some of the people that said it was too long, no constructive criticism in their comments, useless. And these are all comments on Reddit, by the way, just keyboard warriors, you know, they want to post it on YouTube. But it is what it is, cool, you know? We're about to get this all popping here in a second. And you have to stop it a little bit. Ow, son of a gun. Yeah. Zero, zero. Now, so, let's get started. Okay. Now, so, all the ingredients you see displayed before me, you are going to need. I'm going to go ahead and throw those up right here as well. They'll be somewhere in this area, maybe in the middle, I don't know, it don't matter. I'll probably put them in the middle, and then you guys can pause it. I'll leave them up there for a second so you can, you know, pause, copy it down, write it down, type it down, whatever you guys do nowadays. And, yep, and then we can move on. And so, first things first is you're going to go ahead and bloom your gelatin. Alright, you're going to want 2 packets of unflavored gelatin, right? So, I went ahead and did all mine already, so I don't want to, you know, take any extra time. Done. Now, when you do that blooming of the gelatin, you want to use 50 milliliters of water. And as you can see here, I've already used 50. It was at 150, now it's at 100. See? Simple math, right? I hope. Now, for this circuit peanut recipe, most people don't know, but the original flavor of circus peanuts is actually banana. And so, what you want to do is find a good flavor that mixes well with banana that you like, right? Now, you don't have to use banana flavoring. You can use any flavoring, honestly. It doesn't matter. This is just my preference. Like I said, this is how I'm doing it. I'm going with an orange banana today. That's what type of, you know, flavor candy I'm going with. And so that's what we're doing. Like I said, you will take, oh, and don't forget, like I said, when you do your 50 milliliters into your bowl right here, right? Small bowl, 50 milliliters of water go in. You're going to take your flavoring, you're going to dump that into the 2, right? 2 flavorings. Okay? So, don't forget, 2 flavorings into the bowl. And then you're going to take those 2 packets of unflavored gelatin, you're going to stick it in there, and use a fork, and you're going to mix it up really, really well. You don't want to leave no spots unsoaked, okay? Because if you do, then it just won't... it won't melt right later, and you don't want that problem, at least not with that. And so, from here, you want to take your 100 milliliters of water. You're going to pour it into your pot, get it nice and warmed up, right? Set that to the side, and then we're going to take a pinch of potassium sorbate. Potassium sorbate. Drop that in there. Okay. And take your silicone spatula. We're going to give it a little stir. Done. Okay. And then you're going to want 3 boxes of Jello mix, your, you know, preferred flavor. Okay. You're going to take 2 boxes and go ahead and dump that into your pot with 100 milliliters of water. Okay? It's gonna be a lot. That was about 340 grams of Jello. Okay? Jello mix, dry Jello mix. So, I say 2 only, right? Because you want to keep 1 box to the side. You'll need 1 box for later. This is, this is important. So, keep that to the side, right? We got our oil. 100 milliliters of oil. Don't forget, 100 milliliters of oil. It's hard to see because of the coconut oil, but 100 milliliters of oil. Throw that on the side. Get it nice and warmed up. Okay, and I'll explain the marshmallow fluff when we come to it in a second. You know, this is where I'm about to make what I call the first mistake when I recreated that texture, okay? And so, in my previous recipe, I tell you to set the timer for 45 minutes, right? For this one, we're going to set it for 25 minutes, okay? And that's where I made a mistake. I rushed, okay? I rushed the process. And normally, when you're making regular gummies, okay, like if you were to do this and make regular gummies, thinking you don't need to cook it this long for 45 minutes, if you cook it less, I mean, you probably can get away with like 30, 35, but if you cook it for anything less than that, if you cook it for like 25 minutes like I'm about to do now, it's going to be gritty, right? So your gummy will be gritty when they go to chew through it, and that's not cool, man. You don't want that. And so we're going to go ahead and make sure all of this is mixed in. See? And we're just going to let that melt. All this is going to melt down. Just make sure it's all mixed together. And in 25 minutes, or 23 minutes now, I will see you guys back here. Alrighty. And we are back, and now, like I said in my previous tutorial, recipe, video, whatever, usually absent-minded and I'll forget, and I'll come back way later. This time, not with this recipe, I came back on time, the timer hit off, now we are here. And to give you guys a look at what's going on in the pot, I'm gonna slide forward here, bust the light on for y'all. There we go, got it all off on the sides there. Now you want to give this a stir, mix all this together. Now y'all can hear that, listen. Hear how gritty that is? When you make this recipe, this is okay. This is what we want. Now go ahead and scrape the bottom of the pot and get all that jello. You see that chunkiness is different from the stuff that's translucent. You want to get that off the bottom of the pot. Scrape the bottom. And mix. Full tank. Let's see, yep. Oh damn, listen to that. Damn, I should wake her up. And so, oops, sorry, shaking the shit out of y'all there. Alright. We got everything just about mixed up, right? It's looking real good in there. And now from here, we're going to go ahead and do the next step. The gelatin, the unflavored, that is now flavored with banana cream. Now, if done right, everything done properly, when I mix it together and you're mixing it, you're going to notice that it'll start clumping up after a little bit, and you can just clump it all together at one side, and it'll make it easy to take off later, right? It should come off together on one side. There we go. Come on. For the most part, set that in there like that. Now, I'm going to go ahead and open up this marshmallow fluff, gluten-free. Now, when I said a big spoonful, I meant a pretty big spoonful, like this, right? And so, for reference, for Jello box, how big that is? That's how big of a spoon you want. Turn it to the side. See that? Now, you want to take that, let that just fall in there like it is anyways. There it goes. You want to get all this off. You're probably wondering, like, what the hell is he doing with the marshmallow fluff? I didn't learn this from anybody. This is something that I just experimented with and came across, and it worked really well for what I wanted, and so it's what I do. Those of you that don't speed through this process or skip through this video to just get the basic points out, you'll get the best of both worlds because you get two recipes in one today. So remember when I was telling you, if you want to make those Life Cream Saver style gummies, this is it right here. Marshmallow fluff, right? So you'll get marshmallow fluff. You'll do 2 big spoonfuls and dump it in there and let it melt down. And it'll eventually just start breaking down. You can also see the jello over here too. Look, it's melting down as well. This smells like straight bananas now. Can't even smell the orange in this anymore. It's crazy how strong the banana flavoring is. And this is probably where I will fast forward to all of this mixed together. So you see that translucency? Look at that. Yep. All this is about to be a nice neon orange color. Or I wouldn't say neon, but like more, I guess, a matte orange. Well, it'll pop. You'll see. Alright, now we're about to fold this in. Look at that translucency coming. Look at that. You see that? It's about to be like a pumpkin color. Just want to make sure you mix it in really well. Everything needs to be one unison color. Because I think we are ready for the oil. Now remember, it's 100 milliliters of oil. It's looking great. if you look at it, you can see it. Some of the Jello mix hasn't melted yet, right? So it's going to be really gritty. That's what you want. Like I said, remember, we're not making regular gummies. We are making circus peanuts. So from here, boom, every last bit of that magical oil. So you can use any type of oil you want now. It could be butter, it could be lard, it could be tallow, whatever. I use coconut oil. And this is what you want to do. You want to mix it all together, right? Now, that oil was already pretty hot. That's why you can see how it's all breaking apart into bits and pieces. See that? Look at that. That's what you want to do now. That's a good sign right there, right? So we're just going to mix now. We're just going to start mixing. So we're using a mix of the two techniques there. Whereas this technique to break it, and then this folding technique right here. Pushing it all the way across, breaking it apart as well. And pulling it up to the top from the bottom. Hold you guys loose to it. Look at that. See, and the better it starts mixing together, the bigger this smooth surface area starts getting. And it's kind of, you can see it. It's not as chunky as the regular gummy mix, but that's because of how gritty it is in there. So it won't get like super chunky like in the previous video with the regular gummy recipe. Remember, just spin to see how good we got everything mixed. You can see some separation over here on the side still, so we're going to mix that in a little bit. Not separation, but extra oil on the side there was. You can see it glistening off the side as I was doing that massive spin like this right here. Let's see if we got it. Now we're done here. It looks like I think everything is perfectly mixed. Now from here, what you're going to do is you're going to get that. I guess you don't have to use a measuring cup if you don't want to, but I'm going to because it's going to make it a lot easier for myself. Now, let me get set up on the other side, and I will check back in with you guys right quick. Alright. Oh, real quick before we get over there, to the molds, I'm not going to be using the scraper. Normally, I use this for the bigger molds. For this recipe, though, because this is going to be done a little bit differently, I'm going to have to use an injector, and this is actually like a turkey injector for basting turkeys and stuff. And so, I found this to work really well for gummies and stuff. You know, it's really nice to get an exact dose into every single mold cavity. So we'll see you guys in a quick second there. And we are on the other side, the mold table. Oh, that didn't sound too nice. Okay, so remember the other packet that we saved to the side? Well, that's where this comes in handy, okay? Now, for this recipe to work, we have to add this in now. I know, counterintuitive. You're probably thinking like, dude, this is gonna make this shit so motherfucking gritty. Oops, excuse my French. English. Yeah, it kinda will. Don't dump the whole packet. You can dump like half of it in there, okay? You don't need the whole thing. And now, we're going to mix this in. Just like that. I know, it's kind of weird. And it doesn't make sense. Why would we be mixing this in right now? It's gonna make it really gritty. Well, so what's gonna happen is, in the course of this cooling down and setting, that gelatin will force all the melted gelatin to recrystallize, right? So everything that's dry in here right now, all this crystallized gelatin, all that stuff is gonna force it to recrystallize as it's cooling down. And so now, this is a very important part that comes into play with this recipe, and that is patience, okay? This recipe calls for more patience than the other recipe does. Where the other recipe can be, my regular gummies can be made and ready to go by the next day. This recipe takes about 4 to 5 days, okay? I'm not exactly sure, but I want to say it's about 4 days. And the reason being is because you want this to dry out all the way, okay? You don't want no moisture left in this by the end when you give it to somebody. Otherwise, actually you can. If you give this about 1 to 2 days of sitting and drying, what will happen is you will get a more jelly bean like candy, or you get a hard texture on the outside, not really crunchy, just a little bit more harder than normal, and the inside of it will be chewy, okay? And so if you want that, then you can just let it sit for 2 days. And so what you would do is you would take it out your molds. Okay, so you're gonna you're gonna pour or inject into your molds, and I would advise you injecting, because you try to pour this, it's not gonna pour that well because it's really thick. And so inject it into your molds, and then let it sit in the mold for the normal amount of time, 4 to 5 hours, and then pop it out your mold. If you want to sugar it, that would be your time to sugar, because if you wait any longer, it's not going to stick. And that's after it gets out the mold, right? So as soon as it gets out of the mold, hit it with the sugar if you want to cut it. If not, just take it out the mold and sit it down on some parchment paper and let it sit for, if you want circus foam peanuts, let it sit for 4 to 5 days. If you want closer to a jelly bean, let it sit for 1 to 2 days. And it should give you that texture, or at least something close to that texture, you know? Okay, and I'm just going to focus on getting everything mixed together here now. I don't want nothing that's not mixed together. Right? You gotta have even, consistent gummies, or circus foam peanut candies. I gotta make another name for these things, man, because that's like, it's not gonna be a peanut, you know. I'm using bare mold here. I'm not using the circus peanut mold or whatever. I'm not using a peanut mold. It's looking really nice, y'all. You know, we're all good around here. Gotta get all this off the edge. And so from here, I'm gonna start injecting. I'm gonna let y'all see a couple of them get injected, and then from there, I'm just gonna go ahead and yeah, chill. And then we'll meet back in like about 4 or 5 days when these have gotten perfect, and I will give you guys a view into how the texture is. I think I have an idea how I can show you the difference between the gummy texture and the texture of these candies, okay? And so, check it out. Oh, real quick. You see that silicone ring on the inside of the plunger? If you unscrew this top, rub a little bit of oil around that ring. It makes it easier to pull in and out, okay? All right. Yeah, it's coming out real thick. But that's it right there. Look, that's the first one. Foam Circus Peanut, baby. That's how you do it. This is it, you guys. Oh, no. Oh, no, no, no. My glove is going fucking inside the plunger. Oh, there we go, baby. Okay. Yeah, that's it, y'all. That's how we do it. And, so I guess we'll see you in 4 days? 5 days, maybe? Alright. Just kidding. And we are back, y'all. It's been 12 days since we set everything up here. Since then, I've made some other gummies, as you can see right here. Check it out. Yeah, nice, right? And so, Circus Foam Peanuts, this is how they've turned out. Nice matte finish on them, very smooth. They don't stick to anything. The faces. And so, the method of showing you the difference between the two gummies was going to be, I figure I could do it this way for you. Let me see. Break this excess off so I can show you what I'm talking about. Oh, so let me explain that other mistake. So, if you remember, that first mistake I was telling you was the fact that I rushed the cooking time, cooked it less. That gradiness helped with the process of making these. And then so I realized that I still need to work on my recipe a little bit, so you guys apologize for that, just being honest. So this did not come out like the way I was expecting. Still, nonetheless, it's about as close as you can get right now. The second mistake was that I added that gelatin, the dry mix, after I had finished cooking the initial batch. Now, I'm starting to think that I can tweak my recipe to where you don't have to add any extra gelatin after you finish cooking, but I'm gonna have to kind of work it and see. That's what this other bear is in my hand. It's also what a bunch of these are down here that are sugar coated. And then that third mistake, so I'm gonna tell you 3 mistakes. It took 3 mistakes for me to learn this recipe, and the third and final mistake was normally when I mess up a gummy recipe, it won't sit in the mold but for a couple of hours after its initial set time. And once I pull it out and I realize that the gummy is gritty, and every time this ever happened to me, I would pull all the gummies out the mold as soon as they're ready and toss them back into the pot and re-cook everything and melt it right back down until it's not gritty anymore. And then I'll re-pour everything again. And now this is just something that not everybody's going to do, not everybody's going to take the time to do it because it takes a lot of effort to do something like that. And it sounds simple, but it's not in the long run. So regardless, that was the 3 mistakes, right? And the third one was that I let it sit out. Because I got lazy. That was that pure laziness part. I got lazy and I let these sit out. And then that's what happened. They got hard and they became that texture that some of us have sought after. And so, without further ado, I'm going to show you the difference in the texture now. And so, this gummy I was working on, like I said, I'm trying to tweak it. I'm trying to make it so I can make this better for y'all. And when I do figure that out, I will update that recipe. I'll make it shorter since we got the basics out the way. I'll make it shorter and so you can create that exact same texture as Circus Peanuts. So, this is the difference, right? Take my finger right here, and I'm going to take this, and I'm just going to bend it back. He's going to do a back bend. I'm going to make his head touch his ass. You need a grip on him. Okay, let me show you. Look at this. See that? Oh, there we go. Sorry, you guys. See that? Like I said, this is the recipe. I'm tweaking it a little bit, trying to figure things out here. But as you can see, it's just bending. Look, you can push his head back to his butt, and it just bends. See, it's touching it. That bear can bend, boy. And now, as for the circus foam peanut, we're going to take it, and I'm going to do the same thing, actually. I'm just going to push it, like I said, right? Look, watch it do the thing. Now, if I make it touch its ass, it's gonna break its head off. Watch. Now, as you can see, this is what I meant earlier, too. I don't know if you noticed in the previous, if you're paying attention to the captions, I said 80 milliliters of water, and in my captions, but I spoke and said 100. You want to use 80 milliliters. You want to use less liquid when you're melting down your jelly mix, right? So, do 80 milliliters in the pot instead of 100 for the circus peanut style candies. Honestly, this would eventually get to that texture. You would just have to wait longer, probably another 4 days, maybe 6 days, and they would get to that point. And nothing would go wrong with them while they're sitting out like this either. They're hard, and they have a solid shield around them basically. Now, nice hard carding, nothing can get through. We put that preservative, the potassium sorbate. That's what we use to stop it from growing anything that could be bacterial, mold, or fungus, or anything like that. And so these will be good to go for a long time. These can last for probably, like this, in this style and state, probably like half a year, maybe a year, but they won't last that long. The only reason they're even here now is because I'm waiting, and I wanted to show you guys how this is. Let me show you another one right here, right quick. You see how it comes apart a lot easier as opposed to the other one, how much it takes, as opposed to this guy right here. Just look at this. A lot harder. I'm gonna get this recipe down for you guys, don't worry. But like I said, I hope you guys enjoyed it for now. I'm gonna get these guys all out of here. We got some crepe ones from last time, you remember those? Hell yeah. We got some low doses right there too. 3 milligrams of strawberry banana. If y'all want to see different flavors being made, let me know. I'll whip them up and just make, little videos y'all can just watch. That's great. Great stuff, man. I said, level up your fucking edible game, man. Do it. Learn something. Appreciate y'all. We'll see you guys next time.